Welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you a quick walkthrough of all the 27 apps which come with Office 365 as of today. This is not a deep dive, but this will give you an idea of the entire platform and you will be able to know which tool you can use in your day-to-day work, and that will increase your efficiency. Office 365 has so many apps, but obvious question is why there are so many and do I need all of them? And that's the question which will get answered. Broadly, you can see they are categorized into various types depending on what kind of work we do. Create, store, collaborate, and so on. So let's talk about create. Word is something we have been using for a long time, but there are a few things in Word which you should know, which are comparatively new features. Now what I'm showing you is for Word on the browser, Word on the web. I have a document, 19-page document. It has a TOC, lot of topics, but I want to present it to someone. I've already sent it, but I now want a presentation in PowerPoint format. Usually we will just copy paste into slides from Word. That's not required. You can go to File, Export to PowerPoint. Now choose a template. Then it will use AI to convert your Word document into a separate presentation. It won't ask you which topics and exactly what goes into it. It decides it on its own. Now it created nice 31 slides. They are color coordinated. The design looks good. There are visuals. All this was done automatically. For example, this was the original title and the paragraph, heading and paragraph, but this was converted to a beautiful slide with relevant icons automatically found. This is a great feature in Word. Another new feature in Word is when you share a link of a Word document with others, maybe you don't want them to read the whole document. For example, in this case, I want my boss only to look at the cost and say is it good, bad, or any changes required. So you select the area, right click, choose comment, put mention of that person, and then send it. Now at this stage, the document should be on OneDrive, but it is only visible to me. Now I am adding boss, so it asks you, do you want to share it? Say yes. That's it. Now boss will get an email, and in the email itself, those paragraphs are visible with an option to add a comment right there. So without even clicking on the reply button, boss can specify boss's comments, and then the comments will get automatically merged. This is called contextual sharing. This works in Word, Excel, as well as PowerPoint, which is really powerful. Now coming back, I'm sure you use Excel, but here are a few things which are amazingly beautiful in Excel. First thing, Excel has a mobile app, and in the mobile app, insert menu, we have data from picture. Just take a photograph of anything which is printed, and then it will detect the text automatically. You can make few corrections if required, and then it goes into an Excel file. This file is on OneDrive, so now you can open it on desktop and continue working. This eliminates data entry. Another feature which has been added is lots of new functions. These functions are specific to Office 365 and they are really powerful. I already have a separate video talking about these new functions. You can have a look at it. The link is shown on the top right corner. But right now, wherever you are using VLOOKUP, if you replace it with XLOOKUP and match with XMatch, the file size will reduce and performance will increase. And of course, these functions offer more features as well. So start with that. Now, many of us must be facing large data problems. Data keeps growing, file size keeps growing. It takes longer and longer to open and close, and everything we do is slow. What is the solution? This is not really a new feature. It has been there for a long time. It's importing the data not in the Excel sheet, because that has a limit of 1 million rows and scalability problem. Import it into data model. How do you do that? You choose get data, get data. This is Power Query, get and transform. And when you import the data, at the last step when you are importing it, you say load that data to data model. This will accommodate millions of rows, reduce the file size, and give you highly performant and fast pivot tables. You can create a pivot table directly from data model. You don't need the data to be in Excel sheet. Now we want to learn all useful things from our data, but we may not have time to create so many reports. So what do? Make sure the data is clean. This is raw data. Click inside and look for a button called Analyze Data. This requires Office 365 or M365 E3 version. E1 or downwards does not have this. This uses AI to correlate your data, analyze it, and actually shows you the reports which are statistically interesting or significant. On top of this, you should also have some questions in your mind. So instead of creating those pivot tables or analytical formulas on your own, just try asking Excel. So now these are the questions I typed and this is the answer. It's quite intelligent. It understands natural language the way we speak. So even if you know how to create it technically, why not try this? Then insert the pivot table or chart and continue working further. Less effort and more impact. That's the whole idea of Office 365. If you are into stock market, there is a function called stock history where you specify the stock code and give a date range and it will give you open, close and 4 parameters. Similarly, if you put names of companies which are listed and choose a data type called stocks, then it will convert it into a special thing called stocks type of data where you click on this button and it will show you various things about the stock. It is a little delayed, so you can't use it for live trading, but it's very useful. Okay, coming to PowerPoint. What is PowerPoint? We want to put forward our point with power, obviously. It's better storytelling, better impact. So there is Designer. This Design Ideas, it was called earlier. What does it do? You specify some word and it will create a nice diagram or a picture or even a video and entire PowerPoint theme for it. So this is one. It also has another intelligent feature called perspectives. So whenever there are large numbers, for example here, I'm trying to say 104,000 minutes. Now how much is that? Difficult to understand. So it will automatically add a sentence which explains it in simpler manner. This is called perspective. This number is now better understood like this. Here are some more examples. This is the number, this is the sentence which came based on AI automatically. This is describing weight. This is describing calories. So it's very intelligent. Another thing is if you put up to 10 photos, just randomly put photos on the slide and click on Designer, it will automatically adjust them. Another time-saving feature, but in this case, apart from time-saving, it even looks better than what you would have done manually. It's not just limited to pictures. It understands timelines. This is one-click timeline. This is abstract thoughts, no problem. It will find icons for it and so on. So use PowerPoint to your advantage. Now, OneNote probably you have been using for taking notes, but there is a problem. People take notes either using some software on PC or mobile or paper. In either case, we have a problem. What is that? We can't find our notes after 6 months, isn't it? Why should it be difficult? We should have an ability to link notes to meetings. How do we do that? Well, right click is your best friend. So right click in the correct place. In this case, the calendar entry, and then choose Send to OneNote. Now it will add a new page in a OneNote notebook. OneNote, you can have many notebooks, choose one. And this page is now linked to this meeting. Now you take notes here, close the page, no need to save, it's auto save. And next month, next year, when you want the notes, find the meeting. That's easier. Right click, same option. Now Outlook will find that page for you. Notes are linked. Simple. Now, if the notes are on mobile, this will not work, but no problem. Take the notes on mobile. They will sync with desktop, and on desktop Windows, we have this button called retrospectively link this to the meeting. So even now we have linked notes. And what if you use paper? No problem. Use paper. Take photographs of that paper after the meeting. And then you know the story, it will sync with desktop and then you can link it to the meeting. Bottom line, whichever way you look at it, you can link notes to meeting using OneNote. Great. What is Sway? Many people have not even noticed it. Sway is a simple but very powerful way of creating web pages. No need of programming, no HTML, no JavaScript. You just go to Sway and look at the templates. That itself will show you when to use Sway. So here are the examples: portfolios, newsletters, announcements, circulars, those kind of things. How do you create Sway? Well, you create Sway by going to the page and add whatever content you want. All kinds of content goes into it. It's basically a web page. So what do we do then? You create the content. In fact, if you have a Word document, you don't even have to go to Sway. From Word, you say File, Transform, choose a design, and a web page is automatically created. It has a navigation. You can add text, pictures, media, embed codes, all kinds of things. It doesn't require you to understand design. It'll do it for you. Just choose the template and it's done. Finally, you want to share it with someone. So if it's inside, choose this link. If it is outside, choose this link. This is anonymous. Here people will have to log in and your company staff only can view it. It's that simple. Forms is for surveys and quiz. You must have used some form designer. Must try Microsoft also. All kinds of or types of questions are available. You add the questions, build your form. Then you test it. You can again share it internally or externally, just like Sway. And people can fill it up on browsers. So Sway is a browser-based application. Forms also is a browser application. There is no physical app on mobile or desktop. And then as people start entering data, you can of course analyze it live. And at any point of time, you can take a snapshot in Excel and do further analytics. But that's not all. This form is not sitting in isolation. It works with other tools as well in the platform. So if you want automation, that means someone entered a form. I want to look at it immediately. Is it a bad feedback or good feedback? If it is bad, I want to do something automatically. If it is good, I want to send a thank you mail immediately. I don't want to do it manually, but I do want this immediate reaction. That will improve my customer satisfaction. So this is done by using Power Automate. Forms can work with Power Automate and vice versa. So that's about forms. Many of you may be drawing flowcharts, infographics, and we generally struggle with shapes which come with PowerPoint, but now there is good news. Visio, a free version of Visio, is a part of Office 365. There are paid versions also. This one has less features, but still it is beautiful. So instead of struggling with these shapes, which we have been doing for over 3 decades now, we now have a large collection of better shapes and better diagram types. So not just a basic diagram, we have flowcharts, network diagram, Venn diagram, matrices, and so on. So use it and create beautiful diagrams like this. These are all created in Visio with few clicks and typing. No alignment, no cropping, no manual struggle. So how do you work here? Just drag and drop the shape, and the next shape you do not drag drop. Hover on the shape you have already added, then it will show you what other types of shapes are available. Choose from them and just continue growing the diagram. So this is how it makes it even easier to create flowcharts. Now, many people have been doing, all of us actually, so many meetings in COVID, isn't it? But even though meetings have gone online, Whiteboard has not been noticed by people. It's a part of Teams. In person, we always use Whiteboard. Why not on online and hybrid? So where is it? It's a part of Teams. When you click on the share button, you do see Whiteboard. Do you need touchscreen? No. Stylus? No. You can just type. No problem. This is called a notes grid. It also has reactions and multiple people in the meeting can participate. You can decide whether they should be able to participate. You can see everyone's cursors as well live. But in addition to this, we have beautiful templates for things like brainstorming, project planning, strategy, and more. Just by looking at the templates available, you will get ideas about where you can use it. It also works well on mobile. It's still a part of Windows or mobile Teams app. Finally, you can start with PDF or PPT, upload some slides, and then start brainstorming. And as though all this is not enough, Whiteboard has another brilliant feature. In any meeting room, after the meeting is over, we have to wipe the whiteboard. In any electronic whiteboard, generally it will be saved as a picture, whereas here it is going to continue to be active. It doesn't die after the meeting is over. You can continue whiteboarding lifelong if you like. So that's a brilliant feature. Now, coming to files, all these we are talking about creating files. Now, where do we store them? And that's a common problem. Traditionally, we have stored files where on the local drive, C:, D:, M:, and then we have to get inputs from others, then we send them an attachment, they reply, then multiple rounds of doing this, too many copies floating. That's bad. Bad for you, bad for everyone else. So ideally, we should keep one copy of the document on OneDrive and share it with others so that nobody has to worry about copies. So never use this PC. Do not store files on local drive. Store them always on OneDrive. When you store a file on OneDrive, anyway it stores a local file. So all the benefits are still there. You can edit it offline also, no problem. But in addition to all that, it is going to give you 12 more benefits. Because why are we talking about this? Many people are not using OneDrive despite having it. They're worried about their data. I'm not saying you should not be worrying, because if you lose your data or it's misused or leaked, you will have a negative business impact, absolutely. But remember, when you put your data on Microsoft platform, you become Microsoft's customer, so the same rules, regulations apply to Microsoft. And that's good news. These many security and compliance standards Microsoft has to follow. This is a much bigger list than whatever is applicable to you in your industry. So make sure your compliance requirements are being met with, and then you're good to go. In fact, this is a superset. How do you know what Microsoft is doing? There's not just logos. You can go to Service Trust portal, just search for it, log in there, and then you can see audit reports, because all these logos are being implemented and someone is coming and doing an internal and external audit for every data center. So that's how you can be assured that whatever Microsoft is doing is safe for you and for them. Now, these are the real productivity related benefits of OneDrive. Just go through the slide. I already have a separate video for that. I'll give you the link in the description, and there is a related link on the top right as well. Now, many of the benefits of OneDrive are automatic, auto-save, auto-sync. But the most important thing you have to do something about. You have to stop sending links to people, because OneDrive is one place for one person's file and one copy of the file. You keep the copy safely in OneDrive and stop sending the file copy to others as attachments. Let them come and edit your file. So share a link, not a file. Now, where do you share it from? You can start from Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or browser, mobile, everywhere sharing button is available. What I'm showing you is the share button in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. You click there and then choose specific people. Don't choose anyone with the link, because that's an anonymous link. Choose specific people. What is the difference? Now you are in control. You can even block download. No copy paste will work. You can say allow editing if you want them to give inputs. Now you go to and add people's names, email IDs. Even external parties should be allowed, because even external collaboration should be done efficiently and securely. Adding an external party is not unsafe. It is safer, because the external party has to put their email ID, wait for an OTP. Only then they will be able to open the file. And if that mail gets forwarded to someone else, that link will not work. So there are so many reasons why sending links is better and safer than sending email attachments. So as far as possible, encourage it and share links. In some cases, of course, you will have to send an attachment. For example, if it's a payslip or an RFP, invoice, yes, of course, you send a document. But otherwise, share link. Now, there's one more thing. How do you share a file in Teams chat? Generally, we just upload the file. That's wrong, because when you upload a file in Team Chat from here by clicking on this pin, what happens? Safety clip or the paper clip, sorry. When you upload a Teams chat file, it goes to your OneDrive. Did you know that? And other people are also given permission, but unfortunately that permission is read only. So what do? Upload the file, and as soon as the file is uploaded, you can see here anyone with the link can view. View, we don't want view. Open this drop down, and there's a brilliant option, people currently in the chat, and choose allow editing. Now everyone can edit the file at the same time, different time, but it's one copy. So you are getting efficiency and less effort. So that's how you share files in Teams and take advantage of OneDrive in the process. Now SharePoint is generally used for intranets, and that's more of a technical topic, but every company does have an intranet. So now we have something called Viva Connect, using which your company intranet site created using SharePoint can be added inside Teams. So people don't have to go to the intranet. Intranet comes to where people are working, which is Teams. So you create the site on SharePoint. There is a template available. You can customize it. And once it is ready, you go to SharePoint administration and map it as a home site. And then in Teams, you can see chat, calendar, meetings, like that. You can see your intranet as well. Now the next is lists. Now lists is something where we should be using instead of Excel, because typically what we do in very often we need data from other people. So we'll create a file in Excel, add columns, send it to them. They will reply, then you will detach the file, open it, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, and finally you can analyze. That's not very efficient, isn't it? So how do you eliminate this inefficiency? By using lists. So what does lists allow you to do? Allows you to create columns exactly like in Excel. In fact, more data types compared to Excel. And you even have validations like mandatory column, unique values, and many more. Finally, when the list columns are ready, like a file, you share it with specific people and they can add the data on browser itself. Now, of course, you don't want them to look at each other's data. That option is also there under settings. People can read and edit the items they have created. That's it. So security is also done. So people get a link, they click on this button, edit in grid view, they can enter the data as almost like what they do in Excel. But then this person can see only this person's data. When I log in, I have created the list, I am the owner. I can see everyone's data. And if I want to analyze, I don't have to wait for everyone to finish. At any point of time, I can say export to Excel and it will give you either raw data or pivot table. And then what happens? This pivot table looks like static, no? As of now, no. You go to connection properties and say refresh on open. So now the pivot table is also dynamic. That's how beautifully it allows you to eliminate the need for Excel for data entry, but you use Excel for analytics. Now, if you want, you can integrate it with Power Apps and Power Automate and create an app like this from the list, which you can customize in terms of look and feel, validation, the way it is done, and so on. You can take action automatically when a new record is added or something is changed or deleted. That is by using the integration with Power Automate. So you can have some ready-made templates to you choose from, which you can customize. This is a sample of Power Automate integration with SharePoint list. So please start using lists for data entry. Stop using Excel. So you should not put videos in file system or in SharePoint or Teams or OneDrive because they waste a lot of bandwidth and the response is not good. You have a special product for that. It's a streaming server called Stream. It understands all types of videos and it will automatically convert them. If you set the language to one of the supported languages and the spoken language is English in this case, it will automatically generate captions. Those captions are searchable as a transcript. So if you want to search for a particular word and see where someone covered that topic, you can quickly jump to that point. This is very useful for training video. You can also insert a quiz created in Microsoft Forms at a particular point in time in the video so that you can evaluate how much people have learned from the training. That's how the integration across these products is really powerful. Now let's talk about our work. All these files and videos and web pages and forms, whatever, why are we doing? Because we are working. So where is your work listed? That's the obvious question. And how do you execute your work? So work comes in two types. Something which I do myself and something which I cannot do myself, but I need help or inputs from others. So let's focus on this. Now, of course, you know what is your work to be done. You're doing it, no doubt. Question is, where is that list? That list itself is a list many times. It is scattered all over the place. Whichever method you use, it's not one place. Am I right? That's inefficient. Come on. So the best place for your list is Outlook task folder. This should have all the pending work. Personal, professional, doesn't matter. So go to task folder, add a task there. Just type the task and deadline. That's it. But if you want to delegate, what to do? Don't send mail. That is inefficient. Again, click here. New task. Specify the task and the deadline. But more importantly now, add the assigned task. Means what? Add the email ID of the person who is actually supposed to do the work. Good. So what happens? It goes as a task request to the person. When they mark it as complete, you will be notified automatically. But what if that person doesn't do anything? Then we are back to inefficiency. No. Even then it is better because a copy of this will be in your task list. So now your task list looks like this. It has your work as well as delegated work. So far so good. We have created a master task list, but that's not enough. The next step is equally important because to do the work, we need time. So we need to block the time. Where do we block the time? Calendar, of course. Open the calendar, look at least the important tasks, time-consuming tasks, drag and drop well in advance. This is called time management. So inbox, yes, important, calendar important, but task folder even more important. Go there first, then go to these places. And of course, you want to see it on mobile also. So sure, To-Do app, Microsoft To-Do app, synchronizes tasks from your Outlook. Outlook app does not show tasks. While you're reading a mail, you can convert it to a task on mobile like this. There is an option, create task. Even on the desktop, if you have a mail and you want to convert it to task, just drag and drop it using the right mouse button, and then it will give you an option of move. So move it from inbox, convert it to task. That's how you manage your work. That's how you manage your work. But then what about teamwork? I cannot do everything on my own. I'll need to have some inputs from others. So the teamwork part. Now this can be further subdivided into different types, which is my one piece of work and I need to get that done from others. And some of it I will do, or multiple related tasks. So if it's one task, what do I do? Say I have to create a budget. So what am I going to do? I'm going to create a budget and then I'm going to... No, the task is create a budget. That's one line. But to do it actually, what will I have to do? Oh, first I'll have to think, where is the data of last period, next period, what is the target, what people are expecting to happen, pipeline. So I'll need to accumulate a lot of things. Some of it I have. Many of things I don't have. Then I'll have to call people, chat with people, send them emails, come into meetings, gather all that information. Then I'll create my draft budget. Now I'll mail it to boss. Boss will give me some suggestions. 2-3 times this happens. Finally, the final draft is ready. Still not finished. You have to do meeting with the stakeholders, few corrections here and there. And then after 27 different activities, the task is actually done. One task, 27 random activities. Does it sound familiar? Yes. Does it sound efficient? Absolutely not. And that's the problem. For 30 years, we have been investing in IT, and still we are working like this. There must be some really fundamental problem. And the problem is not up with chat or meetings or mails or files. It is the fact that for each type of activity, we have to use a different app. So we are jumping from this app to that app to that app. That is called context switching, and that is inefficient. So what Microsoft did is they said, yes, you need to do all this, but why are you using different apps? I will give you one app which will do all this, and that app is called Teams. Many of you must be using Teams, but the holistic picture of how powerful Teams is not commonly known. So now how are we going to do this? Well, we'll classify the kind of activities we did. Yes, they were ad hoc, unstructured, but still, we were talking to people, asking them something, or we were interacting in the context of files, and in both cases, you may be having meetings. So this part, how do we manage better? You need input from someone. Which method will you use? If it is not urgent, I'll send a mail, no problem. But if it is urgent, I will do chat. Now, if you do chat with chat, well, whatever I like. No, that's not the case. This is corporate communication. So, all companies of any size, any industry have a requirement that corporate communication should not be using personal apps. So, whatever app you may be using, stop doing it because that's really dangerous. It's not only dangerous to the company, it's dangerous to you also. So don't expose yourself and your data. Now, then what to do? I need urgent inputs? Absolutely. The problem is things like WhatsApp are not very good with security. They have not implemented so many security and compliance guidelines. The alternative is Teams chat, where Teams, which means Microsoft, has taken the trouble of implementing all these things, and they have been consistently doing it for years. Now, you will say why the WhatsApp team did not do it. They are also Meta. They have a lot of money. It's Facebook. They have talent. They have people. They don't need to do it. They don't want to do it because this is for personal use. You don't need this kind of security and compliance. This is designed for corporate use. So you need it. That's why. That's the idea. So, bottom line, start using Teams chat. Because anything official, what do you say? Oh, put it on email. But email is slow. So if you want to still have that officialness and protect your interest, but you want it faster, now you can say, yes, I want it on not email because it's slow, put it on Teams chat. That's equally official because Teams chat also can be archived and should be archived for the same amount of time as much as your email. If you're from IT, make sure you do this. And then if there is a dispute, e-discovery module of Office 365 can actually search across mailboxes and sites and chats. So from compliance point of view also, it is easier to manage. Bottom line, use Teams chat for urgent corporate communication. Teams chat is not just secure, it has beautiful features also which are really, really good. So let me talk about one feature which was recently introduced but probably the best thing Microsoft has done in last 20 years. So here is a chat between few people, group chat. I am trying to get some data from them for the next quarter. I've created a table and sent a message, but this is chat. They can only reply to the message. They can't put some data in the second column. So reply, boring, inefficient. To avoid that from happening, we have a loop. So go to Teams chat, look at this icon. This is called loop icon. When you go to loop, you get not document, but components of a document like a simple paragraph or a bulleted list, numbered list, task list, and table. So in this case, I have created a table and added it. This is still going into a chat. But unlike a typical chat message, this table can be edited by everyone in the chat. So now I have logged in here as assistant and my boss is also a part of the chat. So now I have arranged the screen in two parts. Left side is assistant, right side is boss. And you can see, both of them can see what each other is writing in real time. And potentially you can send this link to someone else also who are not a part of this chat. They can also edit it. The table remains one. So it's really, really powerful. There are many other benefits also, but we'll go into that in a separate video. Bottom line, start using Teams chat. It has really nice features and it protects your corporate as well as personal interests. There is one more interesting thing about chat which is related to meetings. Any chat software allows you to do one-on-one or group chats, but Teams meeting does something extra. Or smart, irritating. When a meeting is over, when Teams meeting is finished, it lands up in chat. People don't like it, people get confused, they get irritated. So why does that happen? So let's take a step back. How many apps can you use? Which app? Doesn't really matter. There are hundreds, thousands of apps for conducting audio, video calls, screen sharing, all that. What is common amongst all of them? Well, there is start meeting and end meeting. Yes. Click on that button, meeting finished, the job of the app is done. But your job? That is not done. Who is going to do this? None of these are going to help you. Now it's your problem. So how do you solve your problem? In the most inefficient way. Right click on the meeting, reply all. And this, as we speak, hundreds of people are sending this, hundreds of mails to each other. It's a disaster. Sounds familiar? Yes. Sounds efficient? Absolutely not. So what is the solution? You already have it. That's why Teams doesn't want you to struggle like this. It says Teams can manage chat, Teams can manage meetings. So why not put two and two together? After the meeting, it becomes chat. And all these things now you continue doing in the chat. So post-meeting chat has all the data about the meeting, attendee report, minutes of meeting, even the whiteboard is alive. And whatever else you want to do post-meeting follow-up, do it here. Stop sending those mails to each other. Do a favor to yourself and others. Remember, less effort and more impact. This is a classic example of that thought process. So start using it and benefit from it. It also has translation in case you are working in a multilingual environment. If you are a developer, it also has code editors for 50 languages. It does syntax coloring, indentation as well. It has an immersive reader in case there is a lot of text and you want to read it peacefully without distractions. You can choose to read one paragraph at a time, one line at a time. You can even read it out aloud with male or female voice at the speed you want. For children, it even breaks down words by these, and it even has a picture dictionary. If you have not seen it, please see it and show it to your kids as well. It's beautiful and powerful. Teams also has an org chart, which is better than what we usually see in Outlook. So it's interactive. So you click on any person, it will show that person's colleagues, subordinates, and bosses. Really useful. Now, that was one part of the story. This was simple teamwork, which we were talking about, right? What do I mean by that? One task, multiple people involved. But what about multiple tasks and multiple people involved? That's other type of teamwork. Those are typically called projects. How do we manage them? We have a team and then cross-functional team and long list of things to be done and a deadline. How are these people doing it? How they keep everyone in sync? By sending a mail to each other every day saying, I did this, what did you do? So imagine how many mails you are going to get about that project. This is only one project, by the way. And most probably you're a part of multiple projects and your regular mail is not going to stop. We are literally drowning in email. Oh no, sounds familiar, yes. Absolutely not efficient from any angle. So where is the problem? Let's do a root cause analysis. This is inbox. You get only one. Projects, you will have many. So why are you using one for many? It's a no-brainer. It's a bad idea. Even the sentence is looking inefficient. Stop doing it. And do it in Teams. Create a team in Teams, not a group chat. If you don't do it, you will struggle with inbox. Say, what is the project name? Search for it. Thousands of replies, thousands of search results. You still don't know what happened. Inefficient. Less impact, more effort. Whereas if you do it in Teams, every project is separate now. There is no need to search. You only click on the unread project and you're good to go. So simple and so effective. That's the idea of efficiency of using Teams for teamwork. Now, what do we do inside Teams? Of course, we create channels and files and all that. But wait, what if some people down the line don't have any project in hand? Then they don't use Teams? Of course they do. So any time a group of people are working on a common objective over a period of time, they will be discussing, they will have documents, they will have tasks, they will have meetings. All of that is happening where? Of course on email. So inefficient, no? So when this thought process is there, you use a team. Whether it is a project or not does not matter. So what are the scenarios? Well, any kind of review. It's repetitive. Same people are involved, lot of discussion, action points. You get the idea. So these are the scenarios where creating a team will dramatically increase people's efficiency, significantly reduce the email workload and increase clarity. Less effort, more impact. Do not do this on group chat because chat is designed for short-term coordination. These are long-term things. It gets confusing after a time. Now, when you have team, what do you get? You create a team. Of course, you create a team. And then what do you do in that team? You have channels. How many channels to create is entirely up to you. So, if I create a team for, say, monthly review, each month becomes a channel. If I create a team for procurement, then every RFP becomes a channel. It's up to you. So you discuss there. All the files you add here. Now, if you are creating a file which you are going to manage, then you put it in SharePoint. If it is a file for a project, do not put it in OneDrive. Put it here. My file, OneDrive. Project file directly in Teams. But then post its discussion, files, good. But that's not enough. For the project, you need one more thing, project plan. So that's where this plus sign comes. This is the shared task list. There are many other tools, 300 plus tools which integrate, but let's focus on the task list. Add the task list, add the tasks, deadline, delegation, everything is managed. You can even categorize or have buckets for tasks. And who can see this? Everyone. Who can update it? Anybody. Live status. Everyone can see like this, like a Kanban board, which means group by progress, or even as a graphical view. Now everyone is worried about reminders. Sure, you will get reminders automatically when you are assigned a task or someone else assigns a task to you. The problem is now every project will have different task list and you will have some tasks across each project. You don't have to even copy paste and go there and filter on your name. You go to Teams. On the left side, you add this task icon. Click on the three dots, add the icon tasks. And there, it automatically has filtered out all your work across projects. So this is the task and this is the project. This is the task coming from this project. Now life has become much simpler. And of course on mobile also, you can see these assigned tasks in addition to your tasks which are coming from Outlook. So now we understand how to manage teamwork better. Now we also have some things in Outlook which are interesting. Of course, the important thing about Outlook is to use it lesser and lesser, and instead of Outlook, use the relevant tool. I'm sure you already got many ideas. But Outlook also has a brilliant feature to help each other. This is a part of Viva Insights where you can say, I don't want to trouble my colleagues by sending them mails after office hours. But then I may get an idea or a thought at midnight, I want to send it because I will forget in the morning. So now best of both worlds can happen. So I am sending a mail on Saturday, 1 p.m. and to someone somewhere else. Now the system knows that person's time zone. They know it's a holiday. So when I send a mail, it offers to send it on Monday morning, 9 o'clock, that person's time zone. You just have to say schedule send. So your job is done. You have cleared your mind. but the other person is not troubled. If you don't want them to be flooded with mails at 9 o'clock, you can always change the time, but still, it's delayed delivery. And this will work even if your PC is off. Another very important feature is automatic segregation of less important mails. Other means less important. If you're not seeing it, go to View tab and say Show Focused Inbox. On browser, you go to Settings and say Focused Inbox. So mails are automatically analyzed, and whenever Outlook thinks it is less important, it uses AI to understand which one looks less important based on your way of handling mails, of course. And then it'll automatically put it in other. The mails which recently went into other are shown here. So you can actually see what is going into other folder without going to other folder. So this is important, this is less important. Now, some mistakes can happen. So in your focused mail, there is a mail which is not important to you, but the system didn't detect it. You teach the system, right click and say always move to other. It's machine learning and you are teaching. Same way, an important mail is lying in other folder, do the reverse, say always move to focus. That's all there is to it. And now you can use Outlook also better. A part of Outlook is calendar, but imagine you are the boss and you have to do 20 appraisal meetings every quarter because you have 20 people directly reporting. You have to manage 20 time slots. Maybe you have an assistant, you don't have an assistant, doesn't matter, but someone has to arrange those 20 meetings. That's a very manual, boring process. Now using bookings that can be automated. What do? You decide what is the thing you're going to do. Who is going to do this? This only I am going to do. This is the service. I will say set it up as a service. Who can do? Who can participate? It can be external or internal people. So this can be done for customer meetings also. And then it will give you a link. This link you send to others. Now what will they see? They will not see your entire calendar. What will they see? You have configured it in such a way that I want to have 30-minute slots. And those 30-minute slots also you have decided which time Monday, which time Friday. Only those slots will be exposed in the link. So when people go to the link, what will they see? They will see only the dates on which you are available, only the time slots on which you are available, and when they book it, the next person will not see the slot. You will get a meeting request, that person will get a meeting request, all done. So this is simple but elegant way of managing meetings and blocking time. So there are so many scenarios in which you can use it. I am sure you'll have at least one of these, if not more. So that is about bookings. Now, if you have shifts, then you must explore Shifts, which is an app within Teams. So just go to Teams and add the app called Shifts. Like we do, it allows you to create shifts. It decides what is to be done in each shift. You can even give time slots and time limits as to what is to be done when. And then when the shift schedule is ready, you can publish it to your team members who are a part of that team anyway. And then everyone can manage it online. No more printing and then manually scribbling on paper. Everyone can see the schedule. Not only they can see the schedule when they actually join the shift. Mobile app of Teams also has this app, so they can clock in and clock out, take breaks using Teams mobile app. It will even capture GPS using the mobile. When there are lots of people on shift, they will want to have time off or swap or offer shifts to each other. All of that is built in. If you have not used it before, try it out if it is relevant to you. Now, we have seen a lot of collaboration, but there is one more item remaining. Let's say I have a company, large company, and I am introducing a new product and I want brand name to be suggested by anybody in the company. We will give some prize to the person whose idea is taken up. Now, how will I do this collaboration? Technically speaking, I can send a mail to everyone, but not very efficient. I don't want to create a team with everyone in it just for one purpose. In fact, that's where Yammer comes into picture. Yammer is designed for employee engagement. In fact, now it's called Viva Engage. It's open communication, interactive and inclusive. Because when you have Yammer, which you already have as a part of this, there is already a group or a community created called All Company. All Company already has all company employees there. So it's always available. It's like an organizational notice board. Top management can use this for corporate communication. HR can use it for this contest or for any other activity which makes sense in an open, transparent manner. So what are the kinds of things you can do there? You can post information, questions. People will like, unlike, share, comment, discuss. It's like a social network. You can even do polls there. You can praise good work done by people and improve people's morale because this is all company group. Everyone comes to know. People can learn from each other. I have a question. I don't know who can answer. Put it on Yammer. They will answer. Someone will answer and it becomes a knowledge management system over time. Now, if you're struggling for a file, say, where did that file go? I don't remember where it is. Go to Delve. Delve keeps track of all the files you have been working on and your colleagues have been working on, and it shows you all the recent popular documents nicely. So if you are missing a file and don't know where it is, before you do anything else, go to Delve. It's a simple tool but quite useful in this situation. Then another tool which works on what you are doing, analyzes your own data and tells you how you are working is called Viva Insights. What does that do? Well, first of all, it will send you a mail every day. It's called Viva Daily Briefing. It's very, very intelligent. In fact, when you open your inbox every day, first read this. It analyzes what you're talking to people and tells you this is what you had committed some time back. Have you done it? Very often we have not put a task for this, so we forget. So manage commitments and follow-ups. If you have done it, fine, just click on this. If you're not, then it'll add a task. And this is AI based, so if you click on this delete, it will improve the algorithm because this was a false positive. Always go to daily briefing. If you are an admin, please enable it for everyone. Go to org settings and enable it for everyone. Only I can see my daily briefing, so there is no privacy issue whatever. If you go to Office, it gives you a dashboard which is called Insights dashboard. There it gives you 4 categories. It allows or wants you to focus on your work, not just get distracted by all kinds of activities. So you can block focus time. It also tells you, have you been working after office hours? What is the breakup between all these activities? It will also give you suggestions as to what you should do to improve your efficiency and work-life balance. It analyzes whom you work with and gives you a list of people whom you work with and how much time you are spending in that collaboration. It's really, really revealing. It's telling you about you. It gives you various types of analytics by analyzing the data which Microsoft already has. Use it to your advantage and improve your work-life balance and reduce stress. Finally, there is an adjunct to Excel, which is Power BI. Many people are worried about the license. Power BI Desktop is completely free. Download it, use your email ID to register, corporate email ID, and use Power BI Desktop at least. That's really powerful and it's completely free. Once you get the benefits, then you can think about purchasing the license. So, in fact, Excel and Power BI have many things in common. The import, data storage, and cleanup is common. Only the visualization method is different. So if you are using Power BI, you already know some of Excel and vice versa. So usually what we do is we take too much time to clean up data and that leaves us less time to do analysis. So data cleanup methods, what do we do? Sometimes manual, formulas, or all of them actually. None of them are actually efficient. There is a much better way available now. So stop doing whatever you're doing in any data cleanup. Even if you have written the macro, use Power Query. This is better than whatever you are doing, trust me. Where is it? Excel, data, get and transform. Power BI, get and transform. And of course, also on the web, it is available as a part of data flow. If you don't see this, then you have older version of Excel, install Power Query, add it. Bottom line is this gives you amazing capabilities without writing a single line of code, and it is extremely fast. All these and more can be done very, very easily here. It even supports in Excel 40 plus and in Power BI 140 plus data sources. And then what happens typically when we analyze data, we get the data analyzed, then make reports, put them in PPT and then present and then a question. And then when there is a question, you don't know the answer. So what is your response? Oh, I'll get back to you. Come on, everyone's time is wasted. Yes, it's not your fault, but would it not be nice to be able to give the answer there and then? That's what you should do with Power BI. So import data, clean up, whatever tool you're already using, do it. After this, that same data you import into Power BI. Don't create any dashboard, just carry a blank report. Why? Because then someone asks a question, you can type that question in Power BI and then it'll answer. We saw question and answer in Excel also, but the Power BI one is much more powerful and intelligent. So you should use this at least in Power BI and be more agile and faster in data discovery, analytics, and decision making. This also has quick insights because we want to learn all possible useful things from the raw data so that we can improve the future. But usually we just stop at few reports. That's not good. We want to learn all possible things. So this gives you quick insights like Excel analyze data, which is really powerful. It even gives you another powerful thing. Let's say this is a simple chart showing something went wrong from March to April. Don't say I'll get back to you, analyze, explain the decrease. It will look at all the other pieces of data you have and show you an analysis by all the other things. So you can actually learn all useful things from your data using AI, and all this is free. So please use Power BI. When you show a dashboard like this, of course it's interactive and all that, but what happens when you show this, everyone may understand it differently. So this is a visual which is AI based called Smart Narrative, which interprets the data which is currently being shown on the page and gives you it as a text. So there is no confusion in the minds of audience. This is dynamic, so if I filter on something, this will also change. So please use Power BI. Finally, when it comes to automation, there are 3 tools. Power Automate is monitoring all these tools. So you can tell Power Automate, when something happens here, do something here and here. That is called automation. So what does it do? Well, triggers and actions. So trigger could be mail arriving and then check whether it is a response to an RFP, detach the attachment, put it on OneDrive or Teams. So like that, it can automate stuff. It can be based on a trigger, or you can be the trigger. You say push this button and this will happen. Or you can say it can be every day 8:30 it should do something. And of course there is an RPA module also, which is the desktop version, which is also free. But how do you learn this? We'll go to the Power Automate page and look for templates. So you are having an idea, oh, this is what I do manually, repetitively in the context of say Outlook or OneDrive or something. So search for that product. It will give you ready to use templates most probably. Use the template and then you will learn and then customize. So a lot of automation can happen across not just Microsoft products, but it is across 600 plus third-party products as well, and this list keeps growing. Similarly, as I said, if you want to do on desktops screen scraping kind of thing, RPA is also available as a desktop as well as a web app, depending on what kind of scraping you're doing. So that's Power Automate. Power Apps allows you to create apps. Apps in what way? Apps by creating proper applications for unstructured work which may still happen, which must be still happening on phone calls and chats and emails. These are not big critical applications, so IT has not automated them, but they are useful and important part of business. So such smaller apps can now be created directly using Power Apps. It's designed for business users, so simple apps can be created by business users without knowing anything in programming. You can start with templates, get the hang of it, and then create your own apps. In fact, now we have an image. So if actually have an idea, I just scribbled it on paper, this can be uploaded and it will actually create a app for you. It's that simple. So if you have not explored Power Apps, do explore it. And of course, Power Apps and Power Automate work hand in hand, because when you capture data, some automation will be required. And then finally, we have AI system also built in. It has many ready-to-use AI systems like invoice processing, receipt processing, sentiment analysis, and more. Just go there and look at all the examples. You will get many ideas of where you can use them in your work. So that's about Power Automate. And finally, chatbots. Nowadays, chatbots are in fashion. Technically, they are conversational AI bots. So things which required a person manning a help desk or taking sections can now be done by teaching this chatbot. This requires a separate license, but chatbots can be created for free within Teams. So explore that. So you go to Teams, add Power Virtual Agents, and then start now. It has some very nice examples and it's very easy to learn. So I have just created a very simple leave bot. So the bot will talk to you and tell you how much leave you have left. So leave bot is here. You create topics based on what questions people are going to ask for. Some topics come ready-made. They are more for learning. But then I have created a topic called leave. And then once someone asks something about leave, what are the further questions to ask? What people will answer? Based on that, it's like a flowchart. It looks complex right now, but try it out. It's quite simple. And this is a real example of how I can test it. So someone came and said leave. So what is your name? Person gave the name. Then it did something, talked to Power Automate, went to the database, found out how much leave I have, and gave it to me. This is one-time design, then it becomes independent. So that is Power Virtual Agent. Once it is done, you can publish it in Teams. So that in a nutshell is what is Office 365. If you want to learn more, then I strongly suggest you buy this book. Buy the Kindle version of the book if you want color, because that all 130 best practices for all these apps have already been created by me in this book. If you use it in your day-to-day work, absolutely you will improve your efficiency, save time, and then you will be smart enough to invest that time into value-adding activities. Less effort and more impact. And what is the result? Work smarter and grow faster. So that's it. Thank you.